Very much indeed for being here. All officers from the Ministry of Local Government, and we look forward to that day of your swearing-in. Pray that it will be a wonderful administration as you also step on from CCB and from the Obas State Government as well. Thank you very much.
Video è?
No, perché io non
Sì, non lo
I'd like to welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs into our midst this morning. Thank you indeed. May I also respectfully recognize the presence of all our officials for the code of conduct. Also invite the Director of Education and Advocacy Services of the CCB to join the dignitaries here as well. And the Gateway State, Mrs. Boa Fatima Titilayo. Thank you very much. I don't know if we have the Permanent Secretary of Local Government Pensions with us. Okay, we still have it there. All right. A beautiful morning one more time, please. 60 seconds, and when others just step in, they can do that quietly and go to their seats. Thank you very much indeed. We officially start this enlightenment program today that we rise to take the state anthem. Please, shall we all be on us standing as we take the Obas state anthem, Ishaya. We have our seats. Thank you very much. We like to commit. It comes to programs like this. It's always good to throw what I call beautiful banters, a pleasant one, just to surprise some people. It is time for prayers, and therefore I will request the Vice Chairman, Abeokuta North Local Government, to step forward to lead us in the opening prayer. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir.
For all official functions. O Lord, Church, grant these our hearts.
Our one request, help us to build a nation where no one is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria shall be blessed. Amen.
That was a pleasant surprise. Thank you.
Please, for the purpose of today's enlightenment program, permit me to say that the fear of conduct bureau is the beginning of assets acquisition. May I officially say welcome to this important gathering that focuses on an integral part of administration in our country, Nigeria. You will agree with me that this enlightenment program, which is crucial, places an enormous task and the role of governance in putting on accountability and responsibility on public office holders and personalities holding public posts in our society and at government at large. I believe that it will be an educative, informative, and positively beneficial program to all participants, the organizers, and everyone present. In that wise, permit me to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Ganiu Amsat. A round of applause for him. Today, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Dr. Rutilulu Akilesi. Equally here today, the Permanent Secretary of Bureau of Local Government Pensions, Engineer Olufiso Oshiale. And not done yet, another Permanent Secretary in the Local Government Service Commission, Engineer Olanike Ogubona, is also present. The state complete team standing in as the Argon chair, and that's the #1 chairman of all the 20 local government councils in Obas State that we have. Honorable Dr. Afolashade Adeyemo. I must recognize also the Director of Local Government Affairs, who is here with us, Mr. Sunday Odoto. Thank you very much. It's an enlightenment program, and synergy is the watchword Like we all know that a bird cannot fly with one feather, just like one of our adage says in this southwestern part of Nigeria. The second feather that is providing the balance is provided by the Code of Conduct Bill. And we have standing in to represent the Federal Commissioner and also serve as the Zonal Director of the Southwest Code of Conduct Bureau. 2 gears, not caps this time, she's wearing today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Bukola Olufo-Gekafayad deserves to be applauded. Thank you. We also have from the CCB team, the Director of Education and Advocacy Services, Mrs. Afolabi Bemisola Ayobama. And she's been running round the clock just to ensure that this program is indeed a successful one. And if you call her the errand lady today, you'll not be far-fetched. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, she is the State Director of CCB here in the Gateway State, Mrs. Eboa Fatima Titilalame. Most welcome, thank you very much. All the chairmen of various local government councils in the state that are here, the vice chairman, the secretary to the local governments that we have with us, leaders of the legislative house in our local government councils, all our supervisors, our special advisors, heads of local government administrations organs, heads of general service and administration, as well as the director of general services and administrations that we have here. Distinguished participants, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. When we come together, feel at home, and get fully prepared, and to officially welcome us to this enlightenment program is a man that knows his audience very well. When it comes to local government administration, he knows how to dot the I's and to cross our T's. Presently is the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs in our dear state. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, let's put them together for Honorable Daniel Amzat.
Almighty God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the most beneficent. I give glory and thanks to Almighty God who has made it possible for all of us to be here once again. Please permit me to stand on the protocols already established by the MC. On behalf of the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, I warmly welcome you to another very important engagement bordering on the ethics of public office. This is not only timely but essential as we continue to build institutions that serve our people with integrity and fairness. You will agree with me that our ministry occupies a unique position at the intersection of modern governance and traditional leadership. As a ministry, we are entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring that our local governments function effectively and that chieftaincy institutions remain respected pillars of our communities, having their integrity and sanctity unfettered. Towards ensuring this, it is required that we uphold the highest ethical standards in our dealings. Let me put it emphatically that ethics in public office is the bedrock of trust. This is because when citizens are convinced that their leaders' actions are grounded in honesty and fairness, it builds their confidence in government, gains community support for development initiatives, and strengthens social harmony. Conversely, Therefore, when ethics are neglected, corruption takes root and the bond between leaders and citizens is broken. That is the reason why the role of the Conduct Bureau in guiding and monitoring ethical compliance across public service cannot be overemphasized but be appreciated. Your presence here today reinforces the fact that ethics is not an abstract concept but a practical necessity for effective governance. It is our strong belief that together we can ensure that local government officials epitomize the values of integrity, transparency, and accountability. As a ministry and the principal agency on the mission of the present administration in the state, led by His Excellency Prince Dr. Abeokuta CON, towards delivering dividends of democracy to the good people of Ogun State, we are committed to promoting ethical training and awareness among local government officials, strengthening accountability mechanisms to prevent abuse of office, collaborating with traditional institutions to uphold cultural values that align with integrity and service, as well as partnering with all oversight bodies to ensure compliance with the Code of Conduct Bureau. On this note, I want to charge us all to remember that leadership is a sacred trust. It is our duty to serve the people selflessly, whether in modern government or traditional institutions. By upholding ethical standards in public office, we are not only safeguarding our present, but also securing a future where governance is synonymous with honor and service. I therefore urge you all to take full advantage of this program by participating actively. Let us learn and unlearn in order to build a culture of accountability together. On a final note, I thank all those engaged in the planning and execution of this program, while also expressing the ministry's gratitude to the officials of Code of Conduct Bureau for the time and effort dissipated on this exercise. Thank you for your attention as I wish us a successful deliberation. May our collective efforts continue to uplift our communities and our nation. Thank you all for listening.
One more time, a round of applause for the Honorable Commissioner. Permit me to take one of his lines. Let us learn and unlearn such that we can build the culture of responsibility and accountability. Thank you very much.
Promises to be equitable and to be just to everyone in the Gateway State. That this administration has been doing since May 29, 2019, when it came on board for the first term. And of course, when the mantle of continuity fell for this second term. That's why we have round beds in round holes to ensure that the administration is waxing stronger, scoring beautiful goals, and having beautiful achievements from all the 3 senatorial districts as well as the 4 divisions of the state. The civil service is not built out. That's why we'll be having good messages from some permanent secretaries as we forge ahead in today's enlightenment program. Maybe to invite first for Google message here today, the permanent secretary, Bureau of Local Government Pensions, Engineer Olufiso Oshina. Please, a round of applause as he steps forward. Thank you.
I will extend warm greetings to the people on the high table and to all the participants present here today. As you can see, we are all gathered for a program on code of conduct for public officers and self-service actors declaring form procedures. Recently, the head of service, the immediate past head of service of Ogun State was in Abuja, particularly for an elected program on the filling of code of conduct forms. And he came back with some profound insights on how to fill these forms. Particularly is the fact that these forms should not be taken lightly, that everything you want to put on that form, it must be with a knowing. You don't just fill the form for the sake of filling it. If you fill a form for the sake of filling it, it may come back to haunt you even in the future. That's why this program is being organized, so that every one of us will be kept abreast of the new innovations when it comes to the filling of code of conduct form. Because in law, there is no excuse for ignorance. You can't say because I'm ignorant of how to fill the form, that's why I am running foul of what the law actually talks about. So as you are here today, I will plead with you to give this sensitization program the attention it truly deserves. I don't want to see it as a time to just come here and relax and mark time. It's actually a time to be educated, to be brought abreast of what the code of conduct feeling of it is all about. One thing that the head of service, the immediate past head of service told us when we had the meeting is that even when you are filling the code of conduct form, even all your dormant accounts that you think are not necessary, you should always put them in the form when you are filling it. Because you don't know when somebody is, I'm quoting him now, you don't know when somebody is going to pay some amount into your dormant account, probably in the course of mischief. And when you are declaring your assets, you don't say, because that account is dormant, that's why I did not declare it. So in essence, the filling of code of conduct forms is a very sensitive matter, and I want you to give it the attention that it truly deserves. Once again, I welcome you to this program, and I wish you a successful time, even during the process. Thank you very much.
Permit me to invite from the Local Government Service Commission. I started, and there is the exit point. So people are actually at the boarding gate for their before they eventually retire, so that they can declare their assets. And jokingly, when I was interacting with some of them this morning, I had them say or make some statement. I have no, they will complete that when time comes. Local Government Service Commission, Engineer Olanike Ogubodu. Please round of applause for her.
I say good morning to you, sir. Permit me to stand upon the established protocol that was established by a seasoned public relations officer. I'm sure nobody in this hall can do better than what he has done and what he is doing. Thank you very much, Mr. Josu. On behalf of the management, executive chairman, the legislators, the career officers, all the political functionaries, the commissioner, sir, I want to say a very big thank you to you, and I want you to please extend our appreciation to our governor, His Excellency Prince Dapo Abeokuta CON, for this enabling environment. I know without his approval we will not be here today. Sir, we are grateful. On behalf of the whole the 20 local governments in Ogun State, we say a very big thank you, sir. Yes, we are here with Code of Conduct Bureau. The MC said the mention of code of conduct is the beginning of fear of assets. For those of us on the field, you know they normally give us that forms every three years. Anytime they are around, all of us will start to run helter-skelter. Am I speaking? Because that fear, how will I fill the form? And you know this language, I do not have. So those who can connect, they know what I mean by I do not have. So we are here today, we will see the numbers of I do not have, we have. So please, I want to encourage you to be very attentive. I'm sure there is no one in this hall today that will not benefit from the workshop of today. So I encourage us to pay attention, stop roaming about, concentrate. Even for those of us that will soon be retiring, we still need to fill that form. So let us pay serious attention. And on this note, I welcome you once again, and I wish us journey blessings too back to our different destination. Thank you and God bless.
3 PSs we have here. One from the local government and chieftaincy affairs, another from the Bureau of Local Government Pensions, and of course, we've heard from the Local Government Service Commission, and we've heard from the Bureau of Local Government Pensions, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. All the people of I do not have, let me hear you say I. Okay, they are not here. Therefore, we invite the PS Local Government Service Commission, Dr. Rotimi Akenis.
Permit me to stand on the already well-established protocol. I think most of the people that are here this morning, back in the days, let's say like 4 years ago, they would be writing I do not have. But today, the people I've seen here today, they have. Well, whether we have or we do not have, by the end of this training, we will know if you have been able to convince you or confuse you. But I'm very sure we'll convince you. Having said that, let me just quickly have a small note I have to read here, but I just feel because of time, let me just address us and say I wish us the best day today. I think we need to really appreciate our honorable, our governor, and by extension, let us sincerely put our hands together for our honorable commissioner for what he has done. When this came up, and we had a discussion on it, and the outgoing chairman, in fact, let's clap for the outgoing chairman too. That's the only woman, the Okolamo, and she walks as if she's a man. Apology to all women that are here. A woman is also as powerful and hardworking as a man. But what I'm trying to say is that this training is very, very important to us. And I will just end this by saying, it is a train-the-trainer meeting. When we get back home, we expect that each local government will bring together in their hall all the other staff that cannot be here this morning. This has not been done so that you can have a taste of it, have the understanding, and it stays with you. The idea is that, and that's why the others are here, the idea is that we're going to bring everybody together, and we have like 5 people from the local government that have been trained on this. The chairman can say something, the vice chairman can say something, SSG can say something, the leader of the house can bring all the councillors together and tell them about this thing. May we not have any problem when we say, I want to rest. And one of the things that can bring the problem is not filling this form adequately and appropriately. I wish us the best, and when it's time to go home, may we get home peacefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do have. So when we combine the I do not have and the I do haves together, we will get to know the result at the end of the day when we fill our CCB forms. Knowing how to go through the nitty-gritty of the form itself. But before we get there, we'd like to invite to also give a short goodwill message on behalf of all the chairmen of the 20 local government areas of Obas State, the Argon Chair, Honorable Dr. Afolashade Adeokuta. A round of applause for her, please.
Boss, please allow me to align with all the well-established protocols. While I appreciate the ministry for this noble effort, and also the Code of Conduct Bureau, by extension, I thank our leader, our amiable governor, for this opportunity he has given us at the grassroots. Well, I'm part of the I do not have team, so I'm here to learn so that when I want to fill my form next, I can say that I do have. So on this note, let me charge all of us to open our hearts to learn, unlearn, and relearn, so that at the end of all this, we can be able to fill our form correctly so that we don't run into any problem. The other time that I want to appreciate the Code of Conduct Bureau. They have really tried for us. This initiative started when they came to Obas State for the last verification exercise. I want to say that all the commissioners are up to this moment. Many of our people, the councillors, special advisors, and some other categories are yet to submit their forms, even as we speak. And those people have been very, very magnanimous with us. Please, let us take the issue of code of conduct seriously. They might be joking with you, they might be laughing with you, but it has implications. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Distinguished Honorable Chairman, the Vice Chairman, and the Executive members of the councils, good morning, everybody. You already know who I am, so I don't need any more introduction. I'm here on behalf of our board member representing Southwest, Right Honorable Abdusalam Olawale Taufik, who is unavoidably absent at this program today. Despite his willingness to be here today, unfortunately, he needs to attend to an official national urgent assignment. So, on behalf of my honorable member, I want to tender his unreserved apology for not being here this morning, but he's here with us in spirit. So, and because of that, he has asked me to stand in for him and deliver his goodwill message to our audience here today. So, with your permission, Honorable Commissioner, I want to deliver his goodwill message. Goodwill message by Honorable Abdusalam Taufik Olawale, the board member representing Southwest Zone of the Code of Conduct Bureau. At one-day sensitization program for local government political office holders, organized by the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs in collaboration with the Code of Conduct Bureau of the State Office, held at Obas Complex. Obas Complex State Secretariat, Moson, Abeokuta, Obas State, today the 14th of July, 2026. Preamble. The Honorable Commissioner for Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, please permit me to adopt established protocol. It is both an honor and solemn responsibility to stand before you today and bring you warm greetings on behalf of our chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Bello Usman, Code of Conduct Bureau. I have great pleasure to join you at this sensitization program as we reflect on the ethics of public office and the sacred trust reposed on us by the good people of our great country. Nigeria. As the board member representing Southwest Zone, I see this gathering as a clear demonstration of our collaborative resolve to entrench ethical conduct at the grassroots level. Public office is not a privilege, it is a duty. It is a covenant between the governed and the governed, built on integrity, transparency, and accountability. Every decision we make, every resource we manage, and every policy we implement must be guided by the principle that the welfare of the people comes first. Ethics in public office means integrity, which means acting with honesty even when no one is watching you. Transparency, which means ensuring that our processes are open and accessible to everyone. Accountability, accepting responsibility for our actions and decisions at every point in time. These values are not abstract ideas. They are practical tools that strengthen governance and build trust between leaders and citizens. The local government remains the foundation of our democracy. At the grassroots, governance is most visible. Local government officials and administrators are the first point of contact for citizens. The decisions you take and the example you set affect families, markets, schools, and communities directly. That is why the law places a high standard of responsibility on you through the Code of Conduct for Public Officers. In the 5th Schedule, Part 1 of the 1999 Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, when ethics are upheld at this level, communities thrive, development is inclusive, citizens feel respected and valued. Conversely, when ethics are compromised, corruption festers, trust erodes, and progress stalls. The mandate of the Code of Conduct Bureau. The Bureau exists to safeguard ethical standards in public service. It is established to maintain a high standard of morality in the conduct of government business and to ensure that actions and behavior of public officers conforms with the highest standard of public morality and accountability. We monitor compliance with the Code of Conduct for Public Officers. We investigate breaches and ensure that accountability is not just a slogan, but a lived reality. We are partners with ministries such as yours, working to instill discipline and restore dignity in governance. The Bureau's role is not to witch hunt, but to educate, to guide, and prevent. We are here as partners in governance to help you serve with integrity and finish your tenure with your name intact. Ignorance, they say, is not an excuse. Therefore, ignorance of Code of Conduct is not a defense. It is therefore in your own interest to understand the constitutional provisions on asset declaration, conflict of interest, abuse of office, and management of public assets, amongst others. As I conclude, I commend the Honorable Commissioner and the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs of Ogun State for this collaboration. It shows that Ogun State is serious about transparency under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Abeokuta MFR. I urge each one of us here today to commit ourselves to the values of integrity and service, to resist the temptation of personal gain at the expense of public good, to serve as role models for the younger generations, showing that leadership is about sacrifice, not just self-interest. Let us remember that history judges leaders not by the wealth they accumulate, but by the lives they touch and the legacies they leave behind them. Together, let us build a Nigeria where public office is synonymous with honor, ethics, and service to humanity, with a culture of unmatched accountability. May our collective effort strengthen the fabric of our nation. Wishing you a successful deliberation. Thank you. I would like to leave us with one mantra of the Code of Conduct Bureau, which says, public office is a trust. Please don't abuse it. Thank you.
All right, let's return to our seats right now. The flight is about taking off. The flight of this enlightenment program is taking off now. Please, let's be on our seats. We want to maximize time. Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, operates under 3 broad pillars. The code that makes that system operational. The conduct that drives the key expectations. And of course, the bureau that extends life to the operational values of the agency under the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These 3 pillars make CCB operational and to function effectively. Therefore, we take the first paper today that is centered on the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, the key provisions. Welcome to the microphone, the Director of Education Advisory Services of CCB, Mrs. Afolabi Bimisola Ayomari. Please a round of applause for her.
The Excellency Ogun State Governor, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner, I'm sincerely appreciating you, sir, Honorable Commissioner Gani Amsa, all the permanent secretary seated. I respect you fully. And the Okanawon of the local government, Dr. Afolashade, we met her some months ago when I came with my board member from Abuja. And she sincerely proven that she's worthy of that position. Thank you so much for your sincere help to the state. I'm not going to waste anybody. I want to observe all existing protocols. And please, I would like to speak to the slide. So you permit me to move down a bit. Thank you so very much. My topic today is to speak on Code of Conduct for Public Officers and the ethical of public of interest. A public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest will conflict with his duty and responsibilities. We all know that in our different sectors there could be a particular time when you'll be thinking of yourself first before you perform your schedule. Constitutionally, it is not allowed. You are supposed to put your self-interest aside and focus on your job given to you. What do we do if you come across conflicts of interest? One, you have to avoid the appearance of that conflict. Don't even allow it to come at all. Once you identify it, you flee away, or you declare any personal interest immediately to your superior. Another one, you rescue yourself from related decision. Any decision that is giving you a red flag. Can I do this? Can I put my interest first? Will I be able to add more money into the contract to help myself? You fly away from it. Then take such decision to your organization and register it. Point 2. Another one is private business and multiple emoluments. Constitutionally, the only business you can do aside your schedule that you are holding now is farming.
Every other personal interest of yours should be put aside. The only business you can do with your schedule that you are handling contracts. If it's suddenly done, you have already collected money on loan from him, so we will not be able to speak to that work contract. That's exactly what we are saying now. Code 7. Code 7? 8. Code 8. Thank you. Bribery. This is very interwoven. We have spoken of bribery and corruption initially. Then bribery, it is an offense to offer any bribe or benefit to influence a public officer for an official action. I was in Abeokuta. I was with Federal Road Service Commission, and they were given an award to their officer. And I asked the commandant, what is the meaning of this award? He said, a driver was preempting to bribe the road safety man, and the road safety man declined. Then he came to the office to report the driver. And I said, sir, are you aware that some of your officers too, they are asking for bribe on the road? Which award will you give to such a person? Sir? Yes, a bribe collector. So what are we saying? It is an offense to receive bribe. It is even an offense to give bribe. Don't give and don't take. Are we together? Are we happy there? I mean, there shouldn't be, there should be not be, don't collect, but you can give, right? Don't give, don't collect. Yes. Abuse of office. A public officer shall not in abuse of office do or direct any arbitrary act that is harmful to the rights of another person. Not that the act is unlawful or is against government policy. You should not do abuse of office. Abuse of office could be from down to bottom. It could equally be from bottom up. If you are chairperson or chairman of a local government and a councillor has offended you some time ago, and you are waiting for the day his or her file will come to your table for approval, and you think that is the time for you to remember that the councillor has offended you before. You now say, this lady, I am going to deal with her this time around. Put away. That's abuse of office. You are hunting your officers under you. What about the junior officers? They equally used to have their own abuse of power. Maybe peradventure you are a senior officer and you have given him or her query before, and you now needed him or her to give you a file to treat. Such junior officers will now go and hide the file on that table. They'll be looking for nothing. Something they know they have hidden. They will be there pretending to look for file that they cannot find. That means they are also doing abuse of office. Are we together? Constitutionally, we are not supposed to allow that happen. Membership of society. Public officers cannot join society that is incompatible with official function. Please don't ask me what type of society is this. Don't say is it Babalawo. Don't say is it a secret society. That's not what we are talking about here. Any group of persons, any society, any community that you belong to, either in the office as a group, that is affecting your organization negatively, constitutionally should desist from joining such group. any group of persons that are together, united together to affect the state negatively, constitutionally, you are desist from it. That is what this one is talking about. Do not join, do not participate in any society that is incompatible with the official function of your office. Code 14 will be handled by the zonal director while we move to Code 12. Let's move on to Code 12. Code 12. These are reporting system to CCB. We verify, we investigate. Any allegation that a public officer has committed is a breach of it or has not complied with the provision of all the codes that we have mentioned. Yes, let's move on. 13. A nominee, trust or agent, a public officer who does any act prohibited by this code through a nominee or a trustee or an agent shall be deemed to have committed a breach of contract. Let me give you a scenario of what happened in one state when I was heading that state. There's this chairman of an institution, and they wanted to award contract to a contractor. He went around, he didn't even go through the normal process of awarding contracts. He came with a contractor who is his nominee. Are we together? He is the contractor, but he was hiding by bringing another person to come there. And they did the contract. Funny enough, his own contractor has no CAC certificate. All the protocols that they are supposed to have through the contract process, he didn't have. But because it's his own person, he gave him the contract, and his own price was even more than other people. And they suddenly did the contract, but because that contractor is his nominee, they passed him and they paid. So somebody wrote a petition, and he was indicted. He was taken to court, and the government awarded him just 7 years imprisonment. Just 7 years, just by using somebody as a nominee. Are we together? So what we are telling ourselves this morning, what we are saying to the participants this morning is, when you want to do anything as chairman of local governments, you should please desist from using a nominee to award contract, because one day people will know it. One day they can write petition, and when it is being investigated and you are proven, you could land the person to problem. The summary of this table is what we have seen right now. I'm not going to delay you much on this. Please, if you have questions, write them down, because the director will take asset declaration now. Please, with your permission, Commissioner, sir, what is on the schedule is that when I present, they should ask questions, because of time we have met ourselves before coming here. She will deliver her own paper, then we sit as panel, we interact with the audience, and they ask their question. Have we agreed with that? Thank you so very much for listening. Thank you. You are afraid of God of. Good afternoon once again. So I'm here to make a presentation on our self-service asset declaration form and talk about exit declaration, most importantly.
Before I go into my session, I'd like to inquire from the audience here. How many of us here have made their declarations accordingly? I want to see our answer. Accordingly? Because in line with the constitutional provision, as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution, Part 1, Paragraph 11, like my director here just mentioned, that we want to cover that part. Asset declaration happens to be the code 11 as of the 14 codes enshrined in the 1999 Constitution. And that code says public officers have to make their declaration to the Code of Conduct Bureau at the beginning and at the end of their tenure of office. That's for the politically exposed, both elected and appointed officers. And for the career officers, you have to make your declaration to the Bureau every 4 years as you go on in your services and your service years and on your retirement from public office. Which means that even career officers have to come to the Code of Conduct Bureau to make their declaration and get a clearance from us before they retire from public office. And from what information I gather from our state director in Obas State is that most public officers don't even come for that end of tenure declarations, which I believe is a breach of the Constitution. So I want us to note that and ensure we do the needful, please. Like the Harvard chairman has mentioned, that we've been very magnanimous, honestly, in that line, because we know what we ought to have done. I'm sorry, my director did not mention that part because we want to cover that area. That there are sanctions, there are consequences to non-declaration or non-compliance with the Code of Conduct law. All these 14 codes, there are sanctions attached to them. If you breach any of the code and get petition, receive petition, we do that. Those are part of our mandate, our functions, our functions, okay? That we receive petitions from the public, from whistleblowers, from everywhere against public officers. If you get that such petition that even for not declaring your assets, we investigate and pass it on to our Code of Conduct Tribunal, which happens to be our twin agency. We are established by the same constitutional provision, the 15th schedule, section 153 of the 1999 Constitution. We perform separate but complementary roles. While the Bureau administers as a declaration form on public officers, we monitor their conduct to ensure that they abide by the Code of Conduct law. The tribunal adjudicates on cases of breach of any of the code that will pass on to them. So the Code of Conduct Tribunal serves as the Code of Conduct Bureau court of law, where we try public officers that breach any of the codes. So for not declaring your asset as at when due is a breach of the code. For abusing your office, for collecting bribe, as she mentioned, any of those codes, once you get petitions, we receive it, investigate, we pass to the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And some of the sanctions that might be imposed on such public officer after trial is removal from public office. For the politically exposed or the elected officials, they will be barred from holding public office for nothing less than 10 years before they can return to public office. Yes, it is that serious. For normal officers or any other person, you can be sent out of service outrightly. You can be charged, you can be asked to pay some amount of money. But once you are being convicted and found guilty, that person remains an ex-convict forever. That's the most worst part, the serious part of it. For not declaring your asset, you can turn out to become an ex-convict forever. Peradventure, I believe, must have been coming across, maybe we are filling forms, maybe you want to travel abroad, you are filling some forms. You will see, I believe most of us must have come across a question like, have you ever been convicted? Such a person must take yes for being convicted at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And the worst part again is that once one has been convicted, even the presidential prerogative of mercy does not apply to the tribunal ruling. That person remains an ex-convict forever. So I want to declare all of us, this asset declaration is just one code out of the 14, but it's the most popular because that's what we use to monitor your conduct in public service. That's the most people, that's what they know us for. But we have other functions. We monitor all the other codes. We receive petition, even from a very close friend that you feel is your friend, my very confident, my 5 and 6, knows everything about me. Might be even the one to be probing you. Don't declare all your assets. They will not know. Truly, we are not witches and wizards in the bureau, but we receive petitions. That same person that you feel is your friend might turn out to be your worst enemy, come and give you out and write petition against you. He or she knows all that you own, that you refuse to declare. So that same person will come and report you. So when you are making your declaration, before I start going into it now, I want us to ensure that we declare truthfully all that we have. Those that are here to make their declaration, please ensure you run to Code of Conduct Bureau once we are done with this training session. Do the needful, declare your assets. Because whoever that refuses to do that, after a week, 1 week notice that we are giving you 1 week notice, grace after this training session. We just get an invitation from our bureau headquarters. Because they've been asking her to list out list of defaulters. But she has been very, very magnanimous, trying to see that you do the needful without reporting you to our headquarters. Because once you get there, it will be out of our control. So I want us to kindly note this and abide by the law. And because this thing is the constitutional mandate that we all must abide with. Even us in the bureau, we declare our assets. We must. We are having a promotion exercise by this month. Part of our requirement that will allow you into the hall is your proof of asset declaration. You must, as a bureau staff. So everybody, once you draw salary from the government coffer, you must abide by the Code of Conduct law. You can check the Constitution. It's there. In the 5th schedule, in section 209 of 1999 Constitution is there. Every officer of the state must conform with the Code of Conduct law. Not only asset declaration, all those constitutional, all those Code of Conduct for public officers. So let's go through the asset declaration. I believe everybody have a copy of this one with you. So we'll just go over it. I'll just take us through the nitty-gritty page on page 1. And if you notice, please, for those that have been in service that have been declaring their assets before, you will notice that this is a new form. Quite different from what we have in the past. So it's now all encompassing. All that we don't have in the old form is now in this. So you have the opportunity to declare all that you have in every facet of our life. So you are free to make your declarations as you want. So the very first part here talks about our mandate, as my director has already stated, that the Code of Conduct Bureau was established in 1999. 1999 Constitution has amended to ensure integrity among public officers. It enforces the 14 codes in the 5th schedule part 1, including mandatory asset declaration. We verify the submissions. Yes, that's one thing that I want you to do again. Once you get your form submitted, you will be subjected to a verification exercise afterwards, where you can be called upon at any point in time to come and justify what you've declared. So that's why you have to declare your assets truthfully. You don't have to lie. What you're expected to declare now is what you have at this particular moment. Don't do anticipatory declaration. Don't do false declaration, over declaration, or under declaration. What I mean by anticipatory declaration is you planning to have something, to buy something in the nearest future, and you're declaring it now. You don't have to do that, because every part of this form now have requiring document that you have to attach to it. So if you have written something that you have not acquired, how will you have documents to account for that? That's number one. You are not to do under declaration. Don't hold back without declaring all that you have. Declare them. Bureau is not preaching poverty. The era of I do not have should end from today. If you have, kindly declare. What the Bureau is after is to make you accountable. As long as you know you can account for how you come about your declaration, your assets, you are free to declare. You don't have to hold back anything. Just tell us how you come about it. That's all. So we are not preaching poverty. We want everybody to hold. And by the special grace of God, our country, our government, at least by working in the government with government, we have various opportunities to acquire assets, in a legitimate way. You can access loan, like you mentioned, from government-recognized financial institution. You can take cooperative loan. You can access assets by inheritance, as long as you can account for such inheritance, something to back it up. You can take loan, maybe you buy a land, later after paying up, you take another one to start building, bit by bit. As long as you can account for it, you are good to go. So don't have that idea of, how will I tell them I get this from? As long as you did not get it through fraudulent means. Because if you do, somebody will give you out. So that's what I want us to do. Some people might have been going scot-free in the past. Actually, I know somebody that has retired, nothing happened. The law can catch up on such a person. Because even retired public officers still can be called upon to come and account for their stewardship while they were in service. So I want us to have that in our mind. So this part is just telling us what the law is all about, as she had mentioned earlier. Then there are general guidelines that you have to kindly read through carefully. Go through the form carefully so as not to make a mistake. You have to review the entire form and its explanatory notes before starting to complete the form. You have to use capital letters all through. Because it's not everybody that have legible handwriting. For us to be able to see what you have written, please use capital, bold capital lettering all through. The only thing that can be written in small lettering is your email address. Then you have to be accurate and complete. What we are saying that you have to provide truthful and complete information about yourself, about what you are declaring. Because incomplete or false declaration may lead to rejection or legal consequences. If you make false declaration, after being charged to the Code of Conduct Tribunal and you have been found guilty, you can still be taken to the normal court of law for perjury. Yes, and it's a criminal offense, we all know that. So note that and ensure you just fill your form accordingly. Truthfully, all that you have. So the consequences, as I mentioned earlier, is here. There are legal consequences, including vacation of office, disqualification from public office, or forfeiture of such assets that you acquired, in abuse of office. You have to attach supporting documents to each section. Whatever that you are making declaration of, you have to give us required documents to attach to prove your ownership of such item. You have to gather all required documents listed in the checklist. I will go through the checklist for you. Example, your ID card, your bank statement, your title deeds before submission of the form. In the past, we don't ask you to submit documents with your form, but now you have to do that. Photocopies of your document. You have to use additional sheets if the space that we provided is not enough. For people that have many assets, you have the liberty to make photocopy of this form before completing it to accommodate all that you have. You have to certify the form after completion at the High Court of Law. You swear in front of a court judge, High Court judge, to confirm the truthfulness and the accuracy of the form. So that at the end of the day, if you are found wanting of false declaration, you can be held liable to be charged for perjury for lying under oath. So that is very important for us to note. Then you have to submit in person the completed form that is attested at the High Court to the Code of Conduct Office nearest to you, which happens to be the Obas State Office of Abeokuta, which is in the Federal Secretariat here. So there are different types of declarations that we receive from public officers. The very first one is initial declaration, which every public officer on coming into office, even career public officers, they are getting employed and they politically exposed. They have to declare their that asset to us within 30 days of assuming office. The periodic declaration is every 4 years. After the first 30 days, then you wait until the 4 years after you do your declaration to us. The exit declaration for those that are exiting office, they have to declare to us 30 days before leaving office. Then there are special declarations that is on the request of the Code of Conduct Bureau. Maybe when we are investigating a public officer, you can decide to ask such a person to make new declaration to us. Then there is pre-function declaration for certain category of public officers like the governor and their deputies. They have to declare their asset to us before they get sworn in into a public office, even the commissioners. So those are the types of declarations. So the supporting document that we expect you to attach to your declaration includes but not limited to government-issued ID card, for example, your national ID card, your international passport, your appointment letter, your letter of promotion, or certificate of return for the elected officers. Title deeds, certificate of occupancy or contract agreement for real estate and farms. Then the bank statement for the bank accounts that you have to declare. Here you have to give us 2 weeks statement, starting from the day of your declaration, 2 weeks before your date of declaration. Then your company financial share certificate or broker statement for your shares and stocks. Company financial statements for companies that you have up to 5% or more than 5% ownership or directorship. Then the loan agreement, if you have any loan that you're servicing, you have to give us loan agreements or creditor statements for your liability. Then you have to attach your payslip, your rental agreement for property that you let out for commercial purpose, your sales record for any business that you have that is any income. Then if there's any other thing that we did not mention here, you can specify and attach. Those are the supporting documents that we have. But I want us to know that it doesn't necessarily have to be, you are not mandated to submit, to give us all these documents if you don't declare anything relating to them. You just give us documents as it relates to what you are declaring to us. So let's move on to the declaration form. The first section is talking about your personal and family details. Here, there's explanatory note, if you notice in the form, attached to every section of this form that explains to you what you are expected to do in each of the sections. So the first section here, you have to provide accurate personal and professional details of yourself to establish the context of your declaration. So you have to ensure all fields are completed, as incomplete forms may be rejected. So here you have to fill in your surname, of course, in both capital lettering, your other names on the second line. Then your sex, you have to tick whichever that is applicable to you, either male or female. Your marital status, you tick the box in front of the one that is applicable to you, the box before the one that is applicable to you. And your date of birth should be in digits, please. Kindly note that. So let's use today as an instance, an example. Today happens to be 14th of July 2026. So the date of birth should be written as 14, that's 14, 07, 2026. So the date will be in 2 digits, month in 2 digits, the year in 4 digits. Then the place of birth. I want us to take a very crucial note on this part. There's a place of birth, there's hometown. There are 2 different things, please. Kindly note that. So your place of birth is where you were given birth to, not where you hail from. You can be from Abeokuta, but you were being born, given birth to maybe in Lagos or in the United States of America. So I want us to note that it's the place where you were given birth to that we want you to enter here as a place of birth. Then your hometown, where you actually hail from. Your state, your place of origin, where you originated from. So, for instance, I'm from Abeokuta, where I was born in Lagos, in Ikoyi, Lagos. So, the place of birth will be Ikoyi, Lagos. Then your hometown is Abeokuta, local government area. Abeokuta local government area. I don't know. I'm not used to this side. Then state of origin will be Ogun State. I hope you understand this part very well. Oh, sorry, before I go on, you have to attach your recent passport photograph, please. You can see where they wrote affix recent passport photograph to the top right corner of the form. Please encourage, kindly note that. So let's move on. After the place of birth, the hometown, the local government state of origin, you move down to where you have your national identity number. Please, you input it accordingly. Then you fill in your permanent home address. Here too, I want us to note, take a very crucial note. There's the permanent home address, there's residential address. There are 2 different things. Except if you live in your own residence, then you can repeat the same address. But if not, for those that live in a rented apartment, they will not write that residential address as a permanent home address. I want us to note that. So in that instance, you first fill in your permanent home address, where you can be fined or reached out to even after your service year. That is an address that we want. For those that are living in their rented apartment that have not been able to build a property, a house of their own, here they have to write the address of where they hail from. Because the belief is that if you write a residential address, you might decide to leave the place at any point in time. The people that live there might not know anything about the last occupant. So if you write your own place address, at least somebody in your family, your compound, will know your current place of residence. So in this instance, I believe if you are living in a rented apartment, you have to have two different addresses here. The first, your home place address as permanent home address, then your residential address where you are living presently now. But for those that have been blessed and they have the property of their home and they are living in that property, so we can decide there, you can write both addresses, repeat the same address as permanent and residential address. I hope you are getting this part very well. So we move down to your office address because you are completing this form in your capacity as a public officer. So that's why you have to write your office address. Where are you working? Where is the office situated? So you write the number and the street where your office is situated. Then you write your telephone number, your own personal telephone number. The next thing is your email address. Fill in accordingly, please. Then you move down to your position and title. In what capacity are you making this declaration? Are you a councillor, a chairman, a director of public works, the local government service commission? You just fill in accordingly. Tell us whom you are at this point in time. Then your grade level and step. If you fall in that category, can you let us know? Your MBA and organization. Tell us your local government council where you are serving at the present point in time. Then you fill in your staff identification number accordingly. At least we all have that. Then your last appointment / rank with the period. Here, you are expected to tell us what you were doing, what position you were holding before this current appointment that you have. For career public officers, tell us your last designation. If you are a director now, you tell us your appointment before the current appointment as a director. If you are a political office holder, the chairman, the councillors here, or the elected, the appointed officers, you tell us what you were doing before coming into office as a political appointee. That's what we want to have here. Your declaration period should be this period that you are making your declaration, and you just add 4 years, because once you do your declaration now, the next one you do is 4 or 5 years, depending on the tenure of your office. So 2026 to the next one, maybe when you are exiting the year that you are to exit office, or for career officers, when it will be 4 years. So that's what you have to write on that declaration period. The date of declaration should be as at this point, the date at this current period of time. Maybe today, for instance, will be your date of declaration. So from today, we'll be counting down 4 years for the career officers. From today, we'll be counting maybe for, I think, local government, the politically exposed, the chairman, the tenure is 4 years here too. So 4 years to, now that will be 2030. Your existing office in 2030 by a special grace of God. Amen. So that's the date of declaration and the declaration period. So declaration type, as I explained earlier, here you have to take whichever that is applicable to you. For the career public officer who must have been making declaration in the past, because you have to be declaring your assets every 4 years. So you have to take periodic declaration, which is every 4 years. For those that are exiting office now, for the initial declaration, that's where it started from. As you are assuming office now, you seek initial declaration, which should be within 30 days of assuming office. Therefore, the career public officer who is trying to renew their declaration, that has been making declaration before, you will take periodic declaration every 4 years. Therefore, those that are exiting office, like the elected officers that have not done their end of tenure declaration, or those that are retiring from public office, they will take exit declaration, which they have to do within 30 days of leaving office. Then there are special declarations, that is for the maybe when we call upon somebody that we are investigating to make declaration. Such a person will take special declaration, because we are the one that asks. Even if you declare your normal declaration now, and we now get a petition against you and we are investigating you, the bureau can decide to ask you to make another declaration. So such a person will take special declaration. So those are the area. Then declaration for certain public officers before performing the functions of their office. So you just take the one that is applicable to this point in time when you are making your declaration. And in this section, you have to attach a copy of a government issued ID card to prove your claim that you are a public officer and what you are claiming to be to us. Give us something to prove that. Then is either your ID card, your appointment letter for those that are appointed, then for the elected officer, the certificate of return that gave them that mandate to be in that office. That's what we want you to attach to your declaration. Then you move down to section 1.2, which is family details. Before, we don't ask for all this. You don't ask for their names if you don't have anything to declare. But now, even if you don't have anything to declare, you still have to write their names for us. So here, you have to list full names of your spouse, if not public servants, and children under 18 years of age as at the date of declaration. Because according to constitutional provision, you have to declare your asset, that of your spouse, who is not a public officer, and your children under 18 years of age. So you have to declare all, you have to list out all their names. But I want you to note that whatever that you declare to the Code of Conduct Bureau is top secret. We've not been mandated to make any of your declaration public. So be rest assured that all information that you give us will be handled confidentially. So feel free to make your declarations to us. So you fill in your spouse's name, the relationship with that spouse, the date of birth, and your children. You fill in accordingly. Then we move to the declaration proper. We start with section 2, your assets. So the explanatory note attached to this says that you should declare all your assets that you own by yourself directly or indirectly, maybe through your spouse or your child under 18. Then you declare as at this declaration date, you complete a separate table each for each asset. This is telling you that if you want to declare for yourself, you use the section that will provide the form. When you want to declare for your spouse, continue with the photocopied page and attach accordingly. So that's what we are saying here. So an original cost of purchase of what you are declaring at the point of acquisition is what we expect you to write as the cost of acquisition of that property. If you are, for instance, you want to declare a property that you bought 10, 20 years ago, you have to give us the value as at that time, not the value as at now. The belief is that property appreciates the value. A property that you acquire maybe when you've not risen to this level, in your service here. When you now declare, you bought it like maybe 10, 5 million at that time, property has now appreciated to like hundreds of millions of naira, and you are now writing that as the cost of acquisition now. People will be wondering, how did they amass this kind of wealth? So tell us the value as at the time you acquired, of course you tell us the date. So that's what we are trying to see here. Then you start with your bank account. Explanatory note here is telling us that you should list all your bank accounts, e.g. your savings, the current, your fixed deposit, and domiciliary accounts. You don't see anywhere the right foreign account. And I want us to note that we should not mix domiciliary accounts with foreign accounts, please. Dom accounts are accounts that are domiciled in Nigeria here, so you are free to run such account, domiciliary account. The foreign account that my director mentioned that you are barred from running is one that is domiciled outside the shore of the country. So kindly note that. So you have to declare all that. But for those that have accounts, that foreign account that she mentioned, you still have to declare it now. Let us know your status. Just ensure that you don't run it. Money does not come into such accounts. For people that have mortgages that they are running, they have children that are schooling abroad, you still have to declare such account. So you do that. In the decision box, you have to specify the name, the account name, the bank name, the account type, and the account number under the decision box. You write, example, First Bank of Nigeria, current account number, you now write the account number. That's under the decision box. You move down to the location address, tell us the location of where is your bank situated. Then the owner. So under this ownership, this is where you are to indicate if you are making declaration for yourself or for your spouse who is not a public officer or your child under 18 years of age. Because they are the ones to make declaration for them. Your spouse that is not a public officer, the bureau does not have any jurisdiction over them. You, as the spouse that is in government office, is the one to declare for them. So under owner, you will write either your name to prove that you are declaring your bank account, your wife's name, or your child under 18 years of age name. That will give us, the clue as to into whose account you are making declaration of. So you have to write that, and proof of ownership here is for you to tell us, to give us something to prove your ownership of that account, which happens to be your statement of account. With statement of account, you see your name, you see your spouse's name or your child's name to prove that yes, they own that account. Then assert date. Assert when are you making your declaration? So you write the exact date that you are making your declaration, and amount and currency in that account should tally with that very day. I want us to note that. So it is better for you to walk into your banking or you call your banking officer to give you the balance of the account as at the date when you are making your declaration, so that there won't be any variance. Because if you rely on your SMS, other transactions might have taken place in your account without your knowledge. So get your exact balance as at the date that you are claiming, because any variance, even if it's just 1-2 kobo, amounts to either over or under declaration, and it's a breach of the code of conduct. So be sure of what you are giving us when you are making your declaration. So the amount and currency here, you have to tell us the currency of the account. If it's a naira account, it's a dollar account, you have to indicate that accordingly. So if it's for domiciliary account, once you write the sign of the currency, we will know it's a dollar account. Then source of funds. Whatever that you declare to us, like I mentioned earlier, you have to account to us how you come about it. So this account, this money you account, how do you come about it? That's what we want, other source of funds. Is it your salary that you are declaring to us? Is it a loan account? Is it a gift? How do you come about the money you account? So just tell us how you come about it. That's what we want, other source of funds. So section 2, I think we made provision for 3 or 4 bank accounts here. So you continue making your declaration to the head. If you have just 1 bank account and you are sure you are not hiding anything, good to go. But I want us to note that even before the advent of BVN, the Bureau have the authority to call for anybody's account in any bank in Nigeria and abroad. So even if you lie to us, you refuse to declare all the accounts that you have, we'll get to know. So kindly note that and ensure you declare truthfully. You don't have any cause to be afraid. Declare what you have as long as you can account for it. Like I keep saying. So that's for that part. And only supporting document here is for you to attach 2 weeks bank statement. I mentioned that earlier to the date of your declaration. Continue your declaration. If it's your spouse or child under 18, declare all that they have. Then we move to real estate, section 2. Here you have to declare all your land. So land, ordinary vacant land that nothing has been done on it, falls under real estate. Kindly note that. So declare all your land, your buildings and properties under construction, which includes property type, e.g. residential, commercial. Write the address, exact location address, please. The house number, the street number, and the state or the country that such a property is situated. You have to state it for us, please. Because paraventure,
Good afternoon once again. I notice many people are sleeping. We came all the way from Abeokuta to enlighten you here. If you sleep, we are going to write your names and take it to Abeokuta.
Can I go on?
Yes, please.
If the property is under construction, you have to declare, all you need is just to tell us the stage that it is now. And that stage we now account for the value that you give it. So you have to report total costs incurred and the percentage of completion. Attach title deeds, certificate of occupancy, if you have it, for contract agreement. So for real estate, you have to give us description under description box. Tell us the type of property you are making declaration of. Is it a 4-bedroom bungalow, 4-bedroom duplex, a terrace? Just give us description of what you are telling, you are declaring to us. The location address, we want the house number, the street address, and the city, and the country that this property is situated. Who is the owner? So under ownership, is either you write your name as the owner, as the declarant, your spouse name, your child under 18 years of age name. Proof of ownership. Give us something to account for, to prove that you own this property, which is either certificate of occupancy that will bear your name or your spouse's name or your child's name, or deed of assignment, deed of conveyance, just something to prove your ownership of it. Because we believe that it's not easy to come about, to get C or 4 in this our country. So the date acquired, here, tell us the date that you acquired this property. It is very easy for you to determine the date if you bought a property outright. But for properties that you built over years, so you have to put, for the completed one, you can write the date of completion. For those, the one that is still under construction, write the date that you commence the construction. Original cost and currency, I mentioned that earlier. Give us the value of that property in the currency that, maybe if the property is abroad, of course, we'll tell us the currency of that country. If it's Nigeria, put it in Naira. The value as starts. Original cost, that one will be by original cost is what it costs you as at the date that you have claimed, over, before we get to that part. Then source of fund. I'll keep repeating this, we'll keep coming across this. How do you source the fund? How do you come about this property? Is it through mortgage? You have a right to take mortgage. So far it is from government recognized financial institution, not from a contractor, please. Kindly note that. You can have inheritance, maybe you inherited it from your late parents, from godparents, as long as you can give us proof to that inheritance. So there are so many ways of you can get it through contribution. So far you can prove it, or your cooperative society. So that's the source of fund. Then acquired from. Of course, some people purchase property from all these realtors. So give us the name of the realtor where you got your property from. If it's the land that you bought from somebody, give us the name of that person. So that's what we meant by acquired from. We want to know the source where you got the property from, either the land or the finished property. So we made provision for, I think, 2 real estate here. So if you have more than that, kindly continue on the photocopy page to complete your declaration. And at the end of the day, you have to attach your title deeds, either your title deeds, certificate of occupancy, your contract agreement, receipt of custody for the construction cost, and appraisals. Anything as it affects what you have declared and the one that you can provide under this list. Let's move on to vehicles and other means of transportation. Here you have to declare your vehicles, your cars, your trucks, either SUVs, your boats. I don't know if you have, like Lagos, we have, Lagos is surrounded by water. So people access even their property through boats and canoes or speedboats. So if you have your indoor situation, you can declare your boat, motorcycles, just anything that moves you from one place to another, that serves as your means of transportation. You have to declare it to us. Include the make, the model, the year under the station code, which of course includes the registration number of such vehicle under the station box. Then you move down to location address. Where do you normally park the car at the end of the day, which should be your residential address if it's your vehicle. But for boats, of course, you tell us, or the yacht, or whatever that you have, speedboats, tell us the seaside that you normally leave it at the end of the day. Then the owner, tell us who owns this vehicle that you are making declaration. Is it for yourself? If it happens to be for you, write your name. If it's for your wife, who is not a public officer, you ensure you write her name. If it's your child under 18 years of age, you write such a child's name. Anyway, when you're asking questions, because your spouse or that is not a public officer, like I said, you don't have to declare. The one that are public officers, I mean, you don't have to declare what they have, because the belief is that they should be making their declaration wherever they are working because of their services. You are only to account for those that are not, in public office. The date acquired, the proof of ownership, the proof of ownership for you to give us something to prove your ownership of the property, the vehicle that you are making declaration of. So once you can give us proof of ownership certificate, which carry your name, the owner of the, that certificate is enough. It gives the name of whoever that holds that vehicle. That should serve as your proof of ownership. Then the date acquired. When did you acquire the vehicle? You write that. Original cost. How much did it cost you to purchase the vehicle? As at the time that you made the purchase. Then source of funds. How do you come about it? Is it through your savings? Is it a loan? Is it a gift from somebody? You just let us know. Acquired from which motor company did you buy the vehicle? If you ship it in from somewhere, let us know. We just want to know the source. How do you acquire it? From which source? So you can continue making your declaration under this section. Ensure you fill in all your vehicles that you own on your name. At the end of the day, you attach your proof of ownership certificate, including the pictures of such vehicles. Then we move to stocks and shares. You have to declare your shares, your stocks in companies, in both private and public companies. You have to specify the company and the quantity that you have of shares that you have in that company in the description box. For people that have companies that, for companies where the declarant, the spouse or the children hold up to 5 or more than 5% ownership, you have to attach the company's most recent financial statements. I want us to note this, please. So you have to do your declaration accordingly, fill in the total number of shares that you have in either Dangote Cement or refinery, or your bank, maybe any of the banks. The location should be the address of that company where you hold that share. Then the owner, is it for you? You write your name. If it's for your wife or for your child under 18, you fill in accordingly. Proof of ownership, you have to attach your share certificate that will carry the name of the owner of such stock. Date acquired, as at when did you acquire that stock? Original cost, as at that time, how much did it cost you to acquire those shares? That's what you have to write. Then acquired from which company did you acquire the shares? Which companies? Could be Standing IBTC, registrar. The registrar where you acquired the stock from, that's what you have to write here, and the address. Then you continue repeating this, continue with other declaration, any other stock that you have, because you are not to match anything together. If you have in Dangote refinery, you declare separately, you move to the banks, you continue. If the space that will provide for you is not enough, you are free to make photocopy and continue attaching to accommodate all that you have. And at the end of the day, you attach your share certificate as proof of ownership for this part. Then we move to farms and similar assets. She mentioned it, that the only business that you are allowed as public officer is farming. So you are at liberty to declare all types of farming, because there's lacuna in that law. The Constitution did not state the extent of the kind of farming that you can. So that lacuna is there. You can avail yourself with that opportunity and you own as many different types of farms as you have. So here you have to tell us the type of farm under the description box and the size. 10 acres of oil plantation, maybe 20 ponds of fish, of fishery, pig farms, tell us the number of pigs that you have, there are different kinds of cocoa plantation, animal husbandry, any type of farm. Here you have the liberty to declare that. Then give us the location address. Where is your farm situated? That's what we want under that location address. Then who is the owner? Under ownership, tell us if it's for you, it's for your child, or for your wife. The proof of ownership, give us something to prove that you own that farmland. Land purchase receipt, CFO, any title document anyway. Deed of conveyance, deed of assignment, just attach the one that you have. Data acquired, when did you purchase, when did you acquire this farmland? Original cost as at the time you are starting off, how much did it cost you? Like my director mentioned,
You have to enter that under description box. Then the location will be the location address will be the bank where you obtain that credit bill from. Then the owner should be either yourself, write your full name there. If it's for your spouse, who is not a public officer, you write that spouse's name. So the child under 18, you have to enter such a child's name under owner. Then proof of ownership. Here you have to give us statements of that credit bill account or your any savings statement, any statement of account of your savings certificate of any policy that you have in terms of savings certificate. Then date acquired. When did you acquire that credit bill? Original cost. It's better for you to declare it now. But peradventure in future you say some item to acquire property. People might be wondering how you come about such property. You don't declare, say that you own and you can sell off in future. So if you have anything that is that declare it. For furniture items and so, you have to declare what you have in terms of furniture. Yes. But to make it very easy for you, you don't have to start listing them one by one. All you have to do under this section, you want to declare the furniture items and so, classify every furniture item, anything that can call a furniture item and so. You can carry it together under one umbrella. We call it household furniture. So that's why you provide under description. Household furniture. So write down the location address will be the address where the furniture items are located. But for the men that run more than one home, maybe not because of polygamy, even because of polygamy, you have one wife here, another one somewhere. You are not to match the furniture items in both places together. Kindly note that. Declare the one in the first residence before you declare the other one. Maybe peradventure because you are running too old because of your work schedule. Family are somewhere else, you are in another station. Declare the one in your work station separately apart from the one in your where your family are situated. So kindly note. So you declare your household furniture, tell us the location address. The address there should be the residential address where such items are situated. Thank you very much. Then the owner who owns the furniture items. Of course, in most instances, it's the man that furnishes the home, so you write your name. But if peradventure your spouse has a part in the furnishing, kindly include a name. So note that. Then proof of ownership. Give us purchase receipt of those furniture items. Yes, purchase receipt. Note just something to see that yes, you hold this asset that is worth the value that you are claiming here, because you tell us the date acquired and original cost as at when you purchase it. For other furniture items, you have the preference. I think this is the only section of the form that you have the preference of giving us writing it. You don't have to state a particular date of as a date acquired, because the belief is that you acquire furniture items over time. So you can write from certain period of time to another. From maybe the date of the first furniture item that you acquired to then the date of the most recently acquired furniture item. So maybe from year 2024 when you move into your residence to maybe last year that you just acquired a new one. So you have that privilege to do that under this section. Then original cost. Tell us what it costs you to get the furniture items in place. Source of funds. You hear that I keep repeating it. Account for us. How do you come about it? Just tell us how you come about it. It could be furniture grants. I believe they do that. It could be a loan from a government recognized financial institution. It could be your salary. All you need to do is to prove to us how you come about it. Then acquired from. Asking you to tell us from which source did you get your furniture items from? From which furniture maker? Is it from a recognized all these furniture outlets, or from Baba Basura carpentry work, Baba Risky carpentry work? All you have to tell us is how you source it, from whom you source the furniture items from. Then the second section, to make it easy for you, just classify all items at home that are electronically powered. You classify them under one umbrella as household electronics. So your television set, your fridge, your freezer, anything that is powered by electricity. You classify everything together as household electricity.
write household electronics, sorry. Then you write the location address. Here, of course, you have to repeat the same address because all the furniture items, electronic items in one residence is declared first before you move to another. Then owner, who owns this item, you write the name accordingly. If it's for you yourself, you write your name. For your spouse, who is not a public officer, or your child under 18 years of age, you write their name accordingly. Give us proof of ownership of these electronic items at home, which happens to be your purchase receipt. This is why it's very important for us to keep receipt of any item that we purchase at home. It's very, very important. But peradventure, I believe most people will be waiting to ask questions. Now, what if I don't have receipts? Then you can depose an affidavit to prove, because at least you have a legal backing to prove that yes, you own them, but you don't have to display the receipts. Then data acquired, tell us when you acquired the electronic gadgets at home. Then the cost, as at that day that you are claiming. The original cost as at the day that you are claiming, you purchased it. That's the value that you give. Source of fund, tell us how you source it. You source the fund. Is it for your savings? Is it furniture grant? Or just, like I said, under the furniture? Then acquire from which electronic outlet? Is it iSense electronic? Is it MFA in Alaba International Market? Just tell us where you source the electronic gadgets from. That's what we meant by acquire from. And at the end of the day, you have to attach receipts that I mentioned under this section. This same section requires you to declare if you have any pension. If somebody, you mentioned that a retired public officer that is drawing pension from government offer can be engaged in government job, but only from one source. So if you are in that category, you have to tell us the record of your pension under this same section. So if you are in that category, you have to attach your pension certificate for us to prove that yes, you are making money from pension, insurance policy, your pension statement, appraisal certificate. Just attach anyone that is applicable to your declaration under this section. Then we move to liabilities. Because the Constitution says you should declare your assets and liabilities. So here, you have to tell us all your financial obligations in terms of loans. If you are under any loan obligation, this is the section for you to declare it. So you have to declare your debt and financial obligations, e.g. loans, mortgages, or credit facilities of yourself as a declarant or your spouses or your children under 18 years of age as at the date of your declaration. So if for you, if you are having a loan that you are servicing, you have to declare it here. You write your name, tell us the original amount of loan that you are servicing, that you obtained. Then the present balance, as at this current period of time that you are making your declaration, date of liability, when did you obtain the loan? Then for what purpose? If you obtain the loan, is it for mortgage? Just write mortgage under that section. If you obtain the loan to marry another wife, you write it there as well. So just tell us why you obtained the loan. But you can't just take a loan and just squander it. It must be for a purpose. So you have to tell us why you obtained that loan. Then, who is the creditor? From which source did you obtain the loan from? So tell us the name of the bank, or mortgage institution, or operating society where you obtained the loan from. So far, you are not claiming that you took a loan from a supposed contractor that has anything to do with your organization. Then, did you give any collateral? If there's any, to obtain this loan, please state as such. Supporting documents here, you have to attach anything to prove, to give us an idea of where you get the loan from and the amount that is involved. So you have the liberty to declare all your loan obligations, that of your spouse and your child under 18. That's why we make provision for like 4 columns for that liability alone. So at the end of the day, you have to support your claim by attaching your loan agreement. One house, please. Your loan agreement, the payment schedule, we have to see how you are paying back. Promissory notes, creditor statements, or collateral documents. Maybe your title deed that is submitted to get the loan. Just give us all accordingly. Then you move to section 4, your income details. You will notice that, if you be following me, you will notice that all the declaration that we'll be making, there is nowhere we have to how much you are making from all that you declare. If you notice that, if you follow me. So this is the section for you to tell us. This income details, you have to tell us, list all sources of income of yourself as a declarant, of your spouse, or your child under 18 years of age during this declaration period. You have to specify the source and nature in the description box. So if you have a property that you declared in the course of your declaration, here you now tell us if you are making money from some property, this is where you have to tell us how much you are making. So under the first thing we do is salary and wages. You want to know how much you are making as a public officer. So under that salary and wages section, under the description box, write salary. And under amount and currency, tell us how much you are paying. If you be writing acquired in the source of funds, you have been writing salary. This is where we get to know how much you are worth, that you have been able to acquire so much. So this is what we give out if you've been lying to us. So I want us to watch out for that. So here you write your salary per month, of course. Then who is this section owner? You write your name as a declarant. Then if it's for your wife, you do the same. Then you move down to business and investments. If you have any business, some people have family business that they were into before coming into public office. Maybe you are a director or a shareholder to a family business, and money you are making, the salary is being paid into your account through such business. You have to declare that. She mentioned that you have to indicate anything that you are doing that can pose as conflict of interest to you in the future. So here, declare any business or investment that is making, you're giving money to you. Because in the course of our going through your statement of account, you can get to know any other source of money that is coming into your account. So this is where you have to tell us. So tell us the type of business under description. How much are you making from such business? Either monthly or annually. You are the one to determine. If you are making money annually, you write 10 million naira annually, 10,000 naira monthly. You indicate under amount and currency. Then you write your name as the owner, spouse, or your child. Then if you have rental income, like I mentioned earlier, write the name of the property. Tell us the address, everything that we will know that you declared it before. Then tell us how we are making annually for such property. Gift donations. She mentioned that you can take. I remember she mentioned that you can get gifts. You have free to get gifts. A customary gift, sorry. Maybe during customary occasions. So here, if you have anything in that category, maybe you just celebrated a child's wedding ceremony, a parent burial, and some people gifted you money or anything that is in your account that will reflect in your account when we are taking through your statement of account. Declare that under gift and donations and tell us the source. I want us to note that. But just note that the fact that you are allowed to take customary gifts during customary occasions does not give you the liberty to just take gifts from anywhere. You have to be wary of the kind of gifts that you collect. Yes, you have to be very wary because receiving some gifts can turn out to be, how do I put it, can turn out to be a problem for somebody. Maybe somebody that has something to do with your organization, maybe a contractor that instead of submit a proposal to your table, that you are the one to approve, might decide to give you gifts when you are celebrating an occasion. I hope you understand. Taking such a gift, you already like, you must give that person, give you whatever that is. Because you might turn out that now use that to indict you, that maybe I give you money when you are celebrating your child's wedding. You must do my business. So there are instances like that. Or people just lodge huge amounts of money into your account when you are celebrating an occasion. You don't know from where. You have to clarify. Ensure you know the source before you take such. Because it might turn out to somebody that will come back and now it's against you. So you have to be very careful too. Ensure that you take it from people that do not have anything to to do with the organization that will not come back and be demanding for your favor. That you might now, make it as a position on you that you must do what the person wants, even when they are not qualified. Because taking something from them, you are now indebted to them. I want us to watch that. So under here, if you have any gift that is taken in that instance, kindly indicate. Then if there's any other thing like farmland, you tell us the type of farming that you are engaged in, whatever that you are making at the end of harvest period, you indicate and give us the name. Your name, if it's for you or your wife or your child. The supporting documents here will be the bank statement of that business, rental agreement of the property, sales record of your farm. You know, when you make sales, when you are doing harvest, sales record to prove that yes, you made such amount of money that you are paying. That will work under that section. So, section 5 is talking about interest and affiliations, which I've mentioned before now. That you have to declare any business interest, directorship, or affiliation that may pose as conflict of interest to you in future. So far you have companies that you have up to 5 or more than 5% ownership or directorship. You have to attach the company's financial statement. So tell us the name of the entity where you have interest in, the enterprise, the nature of your interest there. Are you a director? Are you the owner? Are you the CEO? Are you just a director? You tell us the percentage of the ownership of that business. Then your role and position there. Who is the owner? If it's for you, you write your name. If you are just the co-owner, let us know. The date that the business was established, you have to indicate that. And that's for that. So I think you make provision for like 2. If you have more than 1 or more than 2, you continue. And here you have to attach your share certificate. The CAC record that will show us your status in that company. If you are employed there, you have to attach your appointment letter, of course, the company financial statement, but the appointments, that's if you are a retired officer, of course. But when you are still in service, we don't expect you to get appointed somewhere else, on a full-time basis. So kindly watch out for that. Then the next section here, I want to run through quickly, is the asset declaration and certification, I guess. Yes. Here, you are at the end of the day, you have to complete this section to certify that the accuracy of your information, that all that you provided for us is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because false or misleading information is an offense and a breach of the code of conduct law. And it's punishable by vacation of office, like I mentioned earlier, disqualification from holding public office, and seizure and forfeiture of the assets by the acquired in abuse of the office. So you write your full name, you sign, put a date, and take it to the High Court of Law. I want us to note this. You have to take your completed form to the High Court of Law, where you will swear in front of the High Court judge that all that you declare in the form is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So that at the end of the day, if we doing our verification exercise, we find out that it lies under oath. Like I said earlier, then after being charged on the Code of Conduct Tribunal, you can still be taken to the normal court of law for perjury, for lying under oath. So I want us to go through. So at the end of that, I think that's the end of this part. Then the other part, section 7, is for Code of Conduct Law official use, so you don't have to touch that part. Then you submit your form in person to the Code of Conduct Law, where you can go through your form, correct anything that you need to do, because I believe we don't know everything, we don't know all. There's no way there will be 2 or 1 mistake that you have to correct when you get there. So once you submit, you are good to go. I think you'll be given the clearance that will comply under the law. Thank you very much. So now we can take questions. So that doesn't have the form by now. You can test from our portal ccb.gov.ng. You can get the form there, you download, you print out for your completion and submission to the Code of Conduct. The deadline for submission, I think the countdown starts from today. And like I said, for those that have been holding on to the form that are refused to declare their to return their form, it doesn't even have to wait until the 30 days today. Because you are already running, running behind schedule. So I think the deadline, like I mentioned earlier, is just 1 week from today. Please, for those that have yet to return their exit form, I mean politically exposed local government officials, they are not supposed to declare beginning of tenure without submitting your end of tenure. For the people that return, back to office. You're supposed to close one chapter, but the law says you will do your declaration at the beginning and at the end of your tenure of office. So for those that are returning, you are supposed to declare your end of tenure, submit that before you now come back for your beginning of tenure declaration. So get your end of tenure declaration done as soon as possible, then you do the beginning of tenure as well. Thank you very much.
Of asking them now, so that answers will be provided. So please, if you have questions, can you raise your hands? The microphone will get you. But I want to appeal that we make our questions very quick so that we have the opportunity of covering more people.
Permit me to stand on the well-established protocol. I will first and foremost, Madam Speakers, I will first and foremost want to start from the first question as when the discussion was about to start, that can corruption end? And I will say categorically that I stand corrected, corruption may not end because the system permits corruption. How do I mean? Number one, we have a systemic problem in Nigerian situation. For a civil servant, we've had scandals on internet nowadays. Before you get a job, you don't bribe to get that job. When you get the job, you will not be paid salary for 3 months of your working. When you get the job, relocating to a new environment, the landlord will say you will pay nothing less than 2 years rent. So before an average civil servant comes into the entry point, he is already indebted in different cases. And that is a systemic problem. And on the part of the politicians, when you are contesting, they've trained you here and there and there and there that your high level of indebtedness before entering that office is so high. And remember, man will do anything for survival.
Straight to your question.
Number 2 is the issue of, you talked about petitioners. And I want to categorically state here that body of conduct should ensure verifiable petitions. I have some of my colleagues here seated that they already have about 5-6 people contesting for the post of chairman, even when they are not even finished their tenure. So if anybody knows that the window of petition is open, just to oppress anybody, they can just pick a paper on the name of writing a code of conduct and write a petition to your office. So I want to please implore that petitions should be well verified and it should not be the issue of not knowing who has written the petition. Thank you. Then on the top note, there was an issue on this code of conduct we once discussed. I think it was in this hall some time ago. And we said, I think there is a need to call for a review of this 1999 Act that established the code of conduct. Some of us here are well-established businessmen before entering office that cascade into millions of naira. And you now tell me I don't have a right of ownership of such company for a 4 years, 3 years office, as the case may be. Now, the law permits farming. Where is the security on farming, on farmers? Many people, their investments are gone down the drain in the name of security. So I want to appeal that if you have any forum where there should be a call for a reform or a review of all these acts, it should be done accordingly. Thank you very much.
My points to the whether corruption can be eradicated. I want to express the opinion that in my view, corruption is part of
human imperfection. So as a result of that, it can only be reduced to the barest minimum. Now my comments, I want to comment on code 10. Code 10. And that code is about limiting the public servants to joining society. I would like you to try to expand, to shed light on that incompatibility with the official duties. Then also speak to it in the line of Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which guaranteed freedom of association of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
My concern, and which I have been informed by the is the fact that I want to call for only for the attention of each one of to the fact that kingdom once existed in Africa before the colonization of our land, which has now led to border land. As a result of that, we have Yoruba, we have people who are our brothers or kinsmen today, who now live in other countries. Now it is international. Some of us, because of where we come from, we have more of inheritance in the places that are not Nigeria today. For instance, during the internet class in 2002 in Abeokuta, we saw 85% of our people running into the Children's Republic of cities, which means we have inheritances and wealth waiting for us there. Some of us, if you want to talk about what your father gave to you or what your grandparents bequeathed to you, today they are not in Nigeria. Will you be treating me for us having that in an international place and against the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria? Will I not be permitted the right to own such property and also write it down when you write, when you ask me here for what I owe? I still want to know. Thank you very much. Okay, my question, to make it clear, is that I come from a place where the majority of our people, our grandfathers, hailed from today's Republic. It was not the Republic at that time. And as I speak with you now, if anything happens to my village, the majority of our people will run into the Republic as a place of abode where they have, lineage and family in. And I still say that some of my inheritances are there as we speak. Should they give me anything from there? Am I permitted ownership now officially without anybody? All right, may I please?
Very straight. Thank you for the explanation that you made to us concerning this declaration, filling of this declaration and asset declaration. Now, if you go to page 9, I'm concerned about your explanation here. I want you to be very, very clear. In your page 9, you said specific company or quantities in the description board. For companies where declarant source and should hold less or equal to 5% of shares or directorship. I am not very, very clear about that area, and I'm concerned because there are some of us that have our assets in form of shareholdings. Are you talking about shares that are quoted, or you are talking about shares that are maybe in companies that are privately owned? I want a declaration on that. And even if it's going to be the one that is quoted, it therefore follows that some of them, we cannot really give you what you probably need. The first thing is that you are talking about share certificates. We are now talking about some other things, or we need the definition of that. Number 2 is that we are talking about equal to or less than 5%. So are you saying that it's only when I have more than 5%, that's when I should declare? That's what I want to know. Thank you very much. Is it only when the shareholding is more than 5% of the share capital of that company? That is when we can declare. Thank you.
My name is Ambassador Obas, Executive Chairman of Abeokuta government. My question was, you said during your explanation that the only thing that we, office holder, can do is farming. I told you I'm a medical doctor. Before I joined politics, and in my area that is very local, and I'm a specialist in that field, like in gynecology, whatever. And there's need for help, and I'm in office now. We said I do not do any other business except, and I'm ready to help and save life. What can I do?
All right. If you have business before you enter office, remember when my colleague was speaking on asset declaration, he said the reason why you are declaring your asset is for us to know your financial profile. Either you've gotten the asset before coming to the office or not. You must let it be written in asset declaration form, so that when we are analyzing your form, we will take cognizance that you have gotten your asset before assuming your position, so that people will not be misunderstanding your financial profile. Having said that, the inheritance that the other man spoke about, you must have a proof. If you have been given some assets from your parents, the late parents, and it was, the documents were not written before their death, you must go to the court and take letter of administration or sworn to affidavit, proving that you are the legitimate owner of this. But please, before you do that, you must make sure that such assets have been divided among the children. You cannot say you are the firstborn of the family, you take responsibility of everybody, and so all their assets are yours. It must have been divided, and yours, particularly, you will only account for yours by going to the court to take affidavit. As per, if you make mistake in the first declaration of yours, hello sir, are you listening? If you make mistake in your first declaration, that does not ask you not to correct it when you are submitting. But if you are submitted and you know you did not capture every other thing because you are not enlightened, then when you are now declaring fresh one, you must indicate it. It's better to indicate what you are forgetting, but make sure it is not anticipating declaration you are doing. Because some people will now start backdating what they don't have before. Are we getting it clearly? Properties not in Nigeria. Any property situated anywhere, maybe in or outside Nigeria, so far it's yours. You are liable to declare something. Because if we receive petition and those ones outside Nigeria are not captured by yours, they will stand against you as declaration of assets or under declaration of assets, which means you are hiding something from the bureau. Are we getting that clearly? Should petition be filed? Of course, yes. When we receive any petition, state receive a petition, it will be sent to zonal director. Zonal director will prove it, will verify it, later they will push it to headquarters. Headquarters have something they call verification committee. They will sit down, analyze your form, and go through it, verify it before you are called upon to come and defend yourself. Are we okay? Please, and corruption ends
Yes, my colleague is with that. Thank you. We keep saying is getting deep into our politics. We all know that. But the belief is that, like Madam said then, when she was taking her presentation, that corruption, we all agree then that we can reduce to the barest minimum. But with the cooperation of yourself and with all of us together, I believe corruption can end, honestly. It might not end in our generation, but the generation to come, if we change, like there's a mantra that we all hear now, let the change begin with you and I. We should invest in our children, right from the cradle now, that corruption does not fade. So that's why I said, it might not end in our generation, we all know that, but generation to come, when we start inviting it, they're right from childhood now. When your child goes to school and brings back somebody else's pencil, this that child, let that return that person to the owner. Let the child know that it's not good to steal. You are not supposed to take what does not belong to you. If that starts from the home, let this thing change. Let it start from our homes now. I believe by the time they grow up, corruption eventually. Somebody mentioned that corruption cannot end because it's a political era. For politicians, you have to sacrifice some people. This issue of godfatherism, we all know that. Society expectations. When you go there, you don't give us money, you cannot be elected. Even when you get there, they will be demanding, making demands upon demand from them. They can even be telling them to put in their family bills. Their wives give back to the child. They must give them money to do child everything. I mean, we've been hearing so many things like that. But my belief is that when we have to seek for honesty, to erase this idea of godfatherism. If we can vote in, we have this election is an opportunity for us to vote in who we feel can serve us better. When we can, even for the masses, when you don't sell your, I don't know how to say it, sell yourself, give yourself, and they give you rice, a bowl of rice, maybe some token amount of money when they are campaigning. Because of that, you vote them in. Those that are doing that, you know that they are not full for that. If you can stand up and vote those people out, and bring in people that don't have to give you anything before they come into office. I believe they will serve us better. So corruption can end, but it might not be now, but let's just keep praying and work towards the future. The Americans, when they wake up in the morning, they will say, God bless America. Let us invite that. Even in ourselves, in our mind, we are reading national anthem, like Nigeria, my country, be faithful, loyal. How many of us are faithful? In fairness, all of us, in our minds, we know what we do. On us, we know. It will start our minds. From us, let's change again because let us change our view of how things run. I have to make once I get to an office to have rich, make money. Because if I go back home, they will, abusing me that you go there, you spend 4 years, they come out with nothing. All this mindset, we erase from our mind. Let's go there to serve the nation. You can make legislative money when you don't. You don't have to feel. You have some rights of office that will be okay for you. Let us be contented. And I want all of us to have this fear of God, that whatever that we are required to do for, we will not take anything when we die. Nothing will go with us. So when we have that fear of God, I believe things will change to be better. Thank you for that question. Says that you are not allowed to engage, to be part, to be a member of any society whose membership or the activities is not compatible with the office that you hold. A society that you belong to, even yourself cannot come out and hold the office and say, yes, I belong to the society. A society that they will be using signs to feed themselves. To classify society as maybe society. Society that you have to swear to oath of allegiance before you join them. That you must abide by all their rules and regulations. They are not supposed, as public officers, to belong to society. Because if a member, parental, contributes in your official capacity to demand for something from you, you must bedrooms for such members because it's what their leaders and you must do their business. That's why public officers they are not allowed. We not to society. Yes, we quoted the constitutional provision that you have a freedom of association. Yes, we know that, but you have to be wary of the kind of people that you associate with that will not affect official responsibility. That's what the law says. Thank you. Gifts. They said it, and she mentioned it. I repeated what I was going through the asset declaration for. That the Constitution allows us to take customary, during customary, take it when you go out on official assignment, when you represent the organization in official capacity. Such gift belongs to taking in for your office, not personal. That's what I mean. For the customary gift, yes, you can take it. Nobody is stopping you from taking it. Yes, you are not supposed to get it. I said you should be wary of the kind of gift that you take, so that you will not take anything that will dirty because of the official responsibility. Somebody just give you a huge amount of money, just see a money got into your account that you don't know where it comes from. You have to tonight. Ensure you know the source. Ensure that the person does not have any business to do with the organization. That will now come back, to use that to decide that I gave you a bribe. You just want it to a bribe. I bribe you, collected bribe from you. And it shows in your account, in your statement. You will not write it there and give for your child wedding. No. Just touch the money like that and you're taking it, you enjoy it. You know that you will not come back in future that you return to. That's what we say. You can take it automatically, but be sure that such a person does not have any dealing with the organization that will not come back and demand anything that you have to bend through to satisfy them. That's what it does. For medical doctors, I like that question because we are engaging, because of our official record going out to study, we are engaging people like that medical doctor, medical council says that we can practice, yes. But the law says, the Constitution, in the 5th schedule, part 1, as you mentioned, is enshrined in the 1999 Constitution that as public officers, they are not allowed to participate in the running of any private business, profession or trade while in public office. And profession, that's many professions there. And I want us to understand something here, that the Constitution is supreme over any other. Yes, medical council that gives you that, but the Constitution has just basic over any other. So you have to apply that. And you cannot be you cannot be. You are in the public office to serve. It's either you are in the public office, stay there and serve truthfully, faithfully, or you ease out and go and face on it. Nobody says you should not run business. You have to make this where you have to show your interest. Then you know that but you are not supposed to be the one to run that business anymore by the public office. So you can engage, you can employ doctors. You're running your hospital for you by the public office. What the law says that you should not be the one to run that medical practice. You're going there to be consulting by the public office because there's no way to not conflict with official capacity. That's what it is. You cannot be against somebody. But somebody should be there running for you by your public office. What the law says that you should not be the one to run into personal practice. Right? And you have to show us proof to that. Not be anything, apart from the medical line, any other business, people business enterprises, lawyers, people enterprises, business enterprises, running companies, not any like that. You have to see because I am not one running by the public office. You will not be a signatory to any of their accounts. You will not be at board, you will be at their board meetings anymore. You give out, go to CSC, buy them that you want to give out from running the business by and public office, from where you are go back there and check. All that will be have to do. Because if anybody writes this to the case, those are the things you have to do.
Thank you very much. I think we've done justice to those questions. As regards the rejection of gifts, so I've spoken very well on that. I want to add a point that if you are giving a big, very big gift, You will take and report to your organization and register it. That particular type of gift is for your organization, not you again. Are we clear on that? Yes. If you go out for official assignments and you are giving a very big gift like that, you go back to your organization, there must be a register. Gift register. Sir?
If the organization should take it.
There should be a gift register in the organization. When you enter such gift, then you give it to the organization. Thank you so very much for waiting for questions.
Right, let's talk to this side of the table so that we can balance the question.
On the last answer you gave on medical doctor, what of if someone is a pastor? Or we are in the era of social media and technology. Someone has a calling of giving a podcast online, maybe on wellness, on things that can help people generally without collecting any money. Can that be done? That's one. Secondly, if I'm gifted, you said we cannot receive gifts. If I'm gifted maybe a car or a land for my birthday, not somebody.
We did not say specifically if you listen to the last point.
Okay.
I said it depends on the
how. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Then, if a public officer discovers an error after submitting the declaration form, what's the procedure for correcting it? That's it. Then, what is the implication of declaring if there is a huge difference between what you declare at the entry, in between the entry and exit, is there any implication? You get what I'm saying? If there is a huge difference between what you have declared at the entry and exit, what's the implication? Then, on a lighter note, you also ask for, I must commend you that this is well detailed, aside from what we are used to, well detailed. So on a lighter note, you ask for our debt and liability. Are you going to pay the debt or not? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just one question. If someone petitions, grab a petition concerning me, can I know the person? Because, I mean, somebody can just do it out of envy and whatever their money we think this person has. So, can I demand that I want to know the petitioner? So that if I also have some things against him or her, I can also prove it out. Thank you.
Very much, Mas, for those wonderful discussion and papers. My question, well, the first one already a question, but like when we're talking about interest, like somebody, the chairman gave a project to and now the proper documentation. I want us to realize that so that I don't want my constituency to go out of this place that chairman cannot have interest. We are in a political era. Even if you have interest, I believe that proper documentation should be done. The person should have because you have interest, that does not mean you should give it to the person who is not qualified to take up that job. And if you have interest, the person must be able to follow through all the necessary criteria, and we must establish that that person is the right person for that job. Then two, as a female spouse, you have the right to declare my husband's property, either public officer or not. But as a woman, do I have that right to declare my husband's property, even if it's not a public office. Thank you.
I mentioned that you have the constitution say that you have to declare your assets, that of your spouse, who is not a public officer. Maybe you got us wrong. So you have to declare your assets of your husband, who is not a public officer. How do you get that one? You have to, as a woman, you declare for your husband, who is not a public officer. The men will declare for the wife, who is not a public officer. We know African culture. We answer that this question that what if I don't know what he or she asked? But the belief is that we are true to ourselves. There's no way you don't know what your spouse has. But by nature you don't know, you don't declare the one that you know. And you indicate that the one that you know, I do not, maybe you don't have access or you don't have idea. Just because that you are not hiding anything.
What if you have two wives? One is a public officer and one is a public officer.
One that is not a public officer. If the public officer is go for us, then let's move into the question. Anyway, that one, since so far the person is not making any money from that venue and he does it online, I believe that is allowed because not that he's making any money. He's not doing it for to enlighten people. So that is allowed. Then the other one is submission of form in error. If you submitted it already, you wait until the next declaration. Then you bring in all those that you have left out. That's the way to do it. Essential between your entry. People can learn huge gap, yes, as you mentioned. Huge gap. The essence of you making declarations at the beginning and at the end of the journey is to compare what you are bringing in and what you are taking out. So when you are coming in, you know what you brought in. When you are going, and you have to submit your pay slip because you know how much you are earning. So we compare to be sure that what you are taking out, that each difference is commensurate to your earning. If it's not, then you have a question to answer. Can you know the person? When somebody writes a petition against anyone, of course, like you mentioned that we have to be sure that the petition is verified. You cannot just write a petition and say anonymous. Who do you entertain? Yeah? No, identify yourself that you have to know it. So when you are the person that the petition, of course you'll be invited. Okay. You'll be invited, you'll be briefed as to why we have received a petition against you. And before you are not even what they are telling you what the petition is all about. Honestly, you will know who writes the petition.
Yeah, but he has that.
You have the liberty to ask. You have that liberty. Yeah, they should not. That's what the law says. As a public officer, you are not allowed, you are not supposed to be involved in awarding contracts to yourself, to your company, to your friend, to your proxy, or your financial agent. You are not supposed to. You are supposed to be neutral. So as a chairman, the fact that you are a chairman of a local council does not mean you should not use the position to award contracts to your friend or your proxy. That's abuse of office. It's the law that says it's not false. So you are not allowed because you have that authority as a chairman. You just say they should know. So you are not supposed to. Even if you have a company, that wants as soon as the contract is under your jurisdiction that you want to award that contract, your company should not even apply to such
qualified person. If a person is a qualified person,
qualified person. Must it be your own that's well qualified?
If she was qualified.
It's not possible. That is your own thinking. It's not possible that your company will be most qualified. That's a blatant lie. Let us face that. Yes, there will be more.
No, a friend.
In Nigeria, what we call selective parenting. Selective parenting. What it means is that there are some companies that are specialized in certain areas. Now, for instance, the company that you have interest in is the only company
that is qualified in that area. What do you do in that area?
Very much, sir. You have entered tender classification. You must have advertised to the public the interest of the FDA concerning that contract. And if anybody applies, the most qualified person, if it's your own person, during the decision period, what you must have to stay clear. You do not have to be part of that decision as of that point. If it is free and fair, and it does it okay, but don't influence it. Thank you.
My running foundations of an NGO and their process. How do I treat? My running foundation or a NGO, how do I treat such process under those CCD? One that was an extension of the huge gap between what you declare and the exception when you are living in public service. You declare that you exit or exited your company, the private person, why you comes into public service. And there's still salaries or emolument that comes from such businesses to your account or to you. Those proceeds will be part of those huge differences. Can you capture those additional income as part of your CCB funds? Having declared that you exited the company and is supported with other things, and you know that monthly or quarterly something comes to you as dividends or whatever to your company, it's additional income. I want to capture it.
If you fill your form properly, you will have analyzed your form. Remember we said that we are rating your financial profile as at when you are coming in and when you are exiting. So when you are coming in, we have the document with us. And when you are going out of the service, you better come back and declare. That will enable us to know what you have before now and what you have when you are getting out of audit. And then again, I am still speaking this. I am analyzing it so that we understand where we are coming from. Do you understand? Having said that, we have said initially that peradventure you have a company before coming into service. If you have done it judiciously, you have declared your asset basis, and you have written in that you have a company before coming in. What the Constitution is saying is that you should not run that company by yourself. Which is somebody is doing it for you and you are receiving benefit from it. If you indicate that in your initial form, we will have taken notice of that and we are adding it to your salary. Are we getting it there now? So we are not leaving your past behind it. We are moving it forward, and when we see a petition, we will go back to your two forms and see which one calls for query. Then we will now invite you concerning the petition and we will explain. And when we investigate and see that you are okay, we will let you go. Except if you cannot justify your witness. Is it clear, sir? Thank you. Thank you. You may have
said NGO. You mentioned something about foundation and NGO. Now, how do you account for that? You are to there's a column where you have to declare that NGO is not money making venture. You don't make money from it. But you just declare your interest in that thing that you are running an NGO. Tell us the value of that is what you are making for NGO. There's a column where you have to declare that. So you have the right to declare that. It's not that you are running a private, you are doing that, you are trying to assist,
their support for the NGO that now have money.
Can you do what? The financial, you have to, yes, you have to. The proceeds of the NGO, yes, you have to. If you look through the form, Do you have the form with you?
Yes. Part of the process under you.
Under yourself?
Yes.
No. Is it coming to your account? There will be an account for the NGO, for the foundation of course. You declare that foundation account, then you declare whatever that is coming into that account under NGO, under the foundation, not under your foundation.
All right, thank you very much. Like I said earlier on, we have the intellectual property. I was engaged for this event. I'm a public servant, and definitely I can't do it free of charge. So if that is not reflected in the income that comes into my account, how do I justify for it since it falls under intellectual property?
In the form, when you go through the form, you see I keep repeating source of fund. Under that column, under your account, the money of course goes into your account, of course. So when you want to account for the money in your account, under source of funds, you can state that you got that money through your engagement as intellectual property. Like for us, when they give us, when we go out, we have honorarium from the state for making presentation. We write honorarium under that.
Sorry, man. During the last visit, one of our senior colleagues in the house had an issue, and I think it is an elaborate to clarify. He was once a commissioner that was gifted a car by the state government, and no proper documentation is a gift. And at the point of him declaring that as part of his assets, Madam was scrutinizing him. So can you please educate us on the way to go about that? Thank you.
Inside well. Yes. We have said that everything that you have, you must account for it. If when you are declaring, you did not specify the source, you will stand against it. And we have said during campaign, the politicians, if you are given a vehicle, you must make sure that you declare it as of when you are coming in. Otherwise, you can be queried. Then again, if you are a politician, and then what comes into your money? I think when we were in Lagos State, when we were in Lagos State, there was a woman during the verification time. We found out from our account that there was a very large lodgement into our account from the party, and she was supposed to disperse it to other members, but she moved the account from the party lodgement to our own personal account, and she didn't see any trace of lodgement. So we put it. Are we getting us? Anything that you are given during your campaign or whatever, you must be able to declare it in a way that the bureau will not stand against. Thank you. Assessment program today. We did not, one person did not single-handedly handle the procedure. We share it among ourselves. Even if we are 10 people that are supposed to anchor it, we will certainly share it. And we are preaching it. We are preaching something to the participants that when you go back to your NDA, to your local government, please carry your superior along. Be transparent, let everybody know what you are doing. Accountability in public service is one key note that we must let the record into our system. We agree that there is many failure, but we should not follow it up like that. We make it like that, but a day of judgment, the Code of Conduct Bureau is at the tribunal. Code of Conduct Tribunal. Yes, if you say that there are systemic failures everywhere, we are not well paid, you are not doing this, you are not doing that, then what will be correct? At the time you will be taken to tribunal, there will be no other person standing by you.
you will stand alone to answer it. And when my colleague was saying that if you are convicted, conviction for life. And that was can stand against you, even when we are campaigning again. So God bless you as you listen well. We are not victimizing people. We are encouraging ourselves to be transparent in love. We did not say you should not have money. We are not preaching poverty, but please let it be legitimate. Thank you very much.
Before we run on, I'd like to urge and solicit local government officials, the chairman, the vice, I don't know what they call them, the councillors, the executive members, to please cooperate with our state director here. Ensure you go back to her, submit your form accordingly, please. The end of tenure should come before the beginning of tenure. Because you have to close one before you open another. So ensure you close up your exit before you do the beginning of tenure. Ensure you do that, because pressure is on her, honestly, from the headquarters. Most have submitted reporters, she's there. They've been on her. But she's been magnanimous, trying to ensure that she doesn't report it. Because she's at the grassroots, she's been female. She needs your cooperation. Please make her succeed. She just got in the office. If she did not deliver, it's a problem for her. So I want to enjoy all of us. Kindly support her, return your form accordingly. If you have any issue, come on the street, just go to her, to guide you accordingly. Thank you very much.
I guess the honorable commissioner have another engagement that we have the paper to attend. But thank God that the rest of that district is still the law who can receive or speak behalf or one of the members. Oh, the SSC is not there. All right. So we will have the director of EAS. That's the person of Mrs. Mapolani Sola Agafami. Please present the certificate of the honorable commissioner and the guest.
Commissioner in charge of the Southwest Zone. On behalf of the Chairman Code of Conduct Bureau and the Honorable Commissioner in charge of Southwest Zone in the Code of Conduct Bureau, I am presenting this certificate of participation to Honorable Gani. You answer the Commissioner in charge of local government and Chitesu Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And now can we have the chair?
On behalf of the chairman of the honorable member, the Southwest, Abeokuta, Safi Polawale, I present this certificate to Honorable Mrs. Abeokuta, the Avon chairman.
Thank you very much. We are almost through, please. Can you just give us 5?
I present this
Abeokuta now, the chair, vice chair, SLG, Olga Abeokuta South. Do you have anybody here? Otherwise, we'll move to the next group of government. Engineer Mrs. Ogupono, and the grace of God and pendency. Please, we'll call on the SSA to please also assist in the group. SSA, sir, thank you very much, madam. You can report to your seat. Abeokuta local government. Quickly, Abeokuta local government. Ijebu local government. Incidentally, before so we get prepared, please move closer Ijebu local government. Ijebu East, so that we can allow others to come down to them. will invite the PS Local Government Service Committee. You are not local government. Obas local government, you don't pay. If for local government, South local government. Local government. If you put on local government, invite engineer local speciality to also please step forward. Thank you very much. The side. Shagamu local government. Just a minute. Shagamu local government. Lastly, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Thank you very much. On the very last note, as we depart, let's just take this party notes from the State Director, CCP, here in Obas State.
As the state office of the Code of Conduct Bureau, we want to express our deep aspect appreciation to the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs for the opportunity to have a program like this. And we want to please plead with all our political office holders and the public officer present here today to please comply with the asset declaration. It's a constitutional requirement that you have to fulfill. Please, all that we have learned here today, let us put it into practice. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Obas State. God bless Code of Conduct Bureau. God bless you all. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you, our ED, CD. Thank you so much. We enjoyed everything that was done.